There we go.
Hey, what's up with it, King? What's up with it, Queen? You already know who it is. It's your big brother, Demont Pope, aka Mr. Purpose Over Pointless Excuses. Yeah, look, you are now tuned in to the Living Purpose podcast. Hold up, wait a minute. You already know we got Brad Butler II, aka B Rad the Great, and you already know we got Cornelius Shackelford, aka Cornelius the CEO. You dig? Hey, shout out to our bro Logan Taylor, aka Why Be Normal When You Could Be Extraordinary. Look, we gonna hold it up for Logan in his absence. He's doing some family things right now. But look, we on the Live In Purpose podcast. We want to thank everybody for taking time to kick it with us as we turn up, turn up. It's the fantastic force, and this is how we doing it. Listen, man. So we gonna have a conversation, fellas. And I just want to jump off in it. Usually I be like, how y'all doing or whatever. But I've been gone. I've been MIA for a couple weeks. So I'm excited. Can I just jump into it? I just want to have a conversation. Can we have a conversation, brethren?
Hold on. Before you jump into it, I want the people to know why Logan isn't here with us today. Logan isn't here with us today because he's actually celebrating his son Noah's birthday. So we want to give a huge shout out to Noah. Happy birthday, little bruh. We love you. We appreciate you. Yeah, we know you're doing big things. You're out there hooping and all that, making your father proud. So we want to honor you and let you know that, listen, on this day, man, celebrate your birthday, celebrate your day with your family. Don't do like your Uncle Brad used to do. He just like, I ain't even finna. I'm gonna just work on my birthday and stuff. Don't do that. Go have a good time, right? All right. So just want to make sure we threw that out there and let Noah know that we wanted to show him some love. Logan, you're always with us. That's our bro. So now we good.
Happy birthday, nephew.
Yeah, happy birthday, nephew. You know what I'm talking about? One time for Logan Taylor, aka YB Normal, because he out there being extraordinary. You dig what I'm saying? Now listen. For those of you checking in to the Live In Purpose podcast today, listen, it's going to be real special. It's going to be real interesting, right? I tell you what, I won't even tell you how it's going to be. We just going to get into it. So look, we talking about making a shift, right? Because in this day and age, in this climate that we living in this society, Brad, in this client that in this climate, look at what's going on with your boy, right? Let me get back. In the climate, don't judge me. The climate that we living in. See, I had to say it again to make sure I had it right. So in this climate that we living in, it's a lot of shifts taking place, a lot of transition, things that used to work not working anymore. A lot of people are getting fed up with the same old of getting up every day, Monday through Friday, going through the same circle on the hamster wheel in their day-to-day 9 to 5. So a lot of people are looking to this new word, y'all. It's looking to this new word called entrepreneurship, right? They're looking into the new aspect of becoming new business owners, right? Because they have either purpose, right? They either have a calling, they have a gift, they have talents, they have something that's inside of them that's calling them to be greater than what they've already been or calling them out of the norm. But sometimes, y'all, I'm gonna be honest, Brad. I'm gonna be honest, Corn. Right? This is the Live In Purpose podcast, so we tell the truth here. Sometimes we don't know when is the right time to make that shift into full-time entrepreneurship, because I talked about entrepreneurship, but now I'm gonna drop that word full-time. There's a difference, right? You got some who are able to work their jobs, and then when they get off of their jobs, then they're able to go to work. Somebody missed that, Corn. I'm gonna say it again. You got some people who are able to work their jobs, and then when they get off their jobs, they're able to go to work. And then on the other side, you got people who get up early in the morning, right, and go to work. And then when they're done working, they clock into their jobs. Yeah, that's the person that get up early to go to work, and after they done working, they clock into their job. So as we go through this podcast episode, I'm sure you guys will figure out which one you are, right? But I want to ask you, Corn. I want to go to you first. I want to ask you, Corn, like, how did you know? Because all of us are full-time entrepreneurs, right? We all made that decision, say, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to jump all the way out here with or without a parachute. So, Corn, like, when did you know that it was time for you to do full-time entrepreneurship? And how was that shift for you? Was it easy or was it difficult?
It was difficult for sure, but I knew when everywhere I would go, like I would move up pretty quick, right? I was always willing to put in the work. I was always willing to learn. And so I knew that I was a student because I've been a student my whole life. And then, you partner that with sports, it breeded a certain type of human. And so uh, I kept seeing that other people saw my potential. I'm gonna say it again. Like I kept seeing that other people saw my potential, right? I would go into a space and the manager would be like, "Man, hey, you're gonna be great at this. Man, if you just stay locked in and you listen to what I'm telling you, bro, like you got natural gifts for this." And that just kept happening to me in different environments. And it's not to say that I'm just phenomenal human being, but I noticed that I was willing to learn, I was willing to work, and then I noticed that other people was noticing it. And so for me, I had to ask myself the question: if other people can see my value, why can't I? Right? If other people can, and it goes to like what you see today in sports. Like we've always historically been able to let other companies, other people capitalize off of our gifts. You know what I'm saying? And who we are as people. Right? People have always found a way to capitalize off of it. Up until here recently, like sure you don't really see people that look like us in spaces that don't have a ball or some type of in between some lines, right, in a place of influence. But companies have historically sponsored us. They have historically like brought us onto their brand or to their product and able use our influence to be able to drive revenue to their particular product or company. And so I started looking at it and I started realizing that I had gifts that God had bestowed on me, and I noticed that other people noticing my gifts. So I was like, man, if these people believe in me, like and I know that I have these visions and these gifts on like who I strive to be, and I have these thoughts and these ideas and these products and these brands that haunt me in my sleep. Like if they believe in me, what's stopping me from believing in me? And so I remember like it was yesterday. It was February 2018. Me and my wife was working the same job, right? We was in corporate. And they gave me a award that pretty much signified excellence for 2 years. And when they got ready to give the award out, they was like, they announced, hey, we got this award. It's going to go out. And I'm looking, this is the safety meeting. I'm looking around like, okay, it's pretty cool. It's pretty sweet. I wonder who it's going to. I wonder who it's going to, right? And it's like 2 years, and they just went this list of accolades, and I was like, and then they said my name, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I've been here for 2 years. Like I had been like just operating and waking up and giving my best, giving my all every single day to a company that never really valued me, but they value me. They seen it. They seen my potential, but they didn't really value me to the point that if I died tomorrow, they wouldn't find somebody else to fill my position.
Come on.
And that was the moment for me. I remember after I got that award, I went down to my wife, who was also in the same building, and I said, I think it's time for me to leave. And she was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? I said, I think it's time for me to leave. I didn't realize I was here for 2 years.
Wow.
And she was confused, right? Because I met my wife at this job, right? This is how we met. So all in all, it wasn't for naught. I got a wife out of it, but that was the moment I turned in my 2-week notice, and I never looked back. And we moved out of my house after we sold the house like a year later, and my wife found that award still in the box, wrapped in the paper, and she said, "You never opened this?" I said, that just signified that, to me, that my journey was truly beginning, right? That their award was really my go ahead. It was really God nudging me and saying, hey, believe in yourself. It's time to go. They value you. Why don't you?
Yeah. Listen. I want to jump right back to that question, and I was going to make you run it back, but you ran it back on your own. So I didn't have to ask you, but now I want to ask you. I want to ask you for the people in the back. You understand that? And I want you to say it a little bit louder for the ones who ain't trying to hear that, because you asked the question. You said if other people can see the value in me, right? But I want you to finish this question because it's yours. I don't want them thinking it's my question when they see the clips or when they see the episode. So the question again, Cornelius, is if other people can what?
If other people can see the value in me, then why can't I?
If other people can see the value in you, why can't I? And that's a question I want to submit to somebody that's watching, right? That's a question that I want to submit to somebody that's listening, because in case they didn't know, we're talking about shifting into entrepreneurship. And the question that I asked was like, when did you know it was time for you to walk into full-time entrepreneurship? And was it a difficult transition? And no doubt it was a difficult transition for you, Cornelius. And you took us back to 2018, right? You took us back to the place where you met your wife, where y'all was working together in corporate America, making ends meet. And you also took us down a road where you had a conversation because of a ceremony, right? It was a celebration, right? They was honoring somebody, and you like, man, this is dope. This is fly. Like, who is this for? I wonder who they gonna call. Lo and behold, Cornelius Shackelford. You know what I'm saying? 2 years. You've been doing your thing. 2 years. You've been thriving, right? You've been striving for 2 years successfully. And you was like, you know what? I'm honored. Thank you. But oh my goodness, I ain't know I've been here this long. Take me through the process of your frame of mind, like before you went to your wife now and told her, like, this is, I've been here too long, I'm gonna leave, because you let us know she was confused, meaning that at one, like, she didn't just initially be like, oh, okay, I got you. Like, she wasn't really there with you yet. She was like, huh, come again, what you say? Like, walk us through the thought process when you received the award, right? For 2 years, doing your job, doing what you're supposed to do safely for 2 years. Like, walk us through the mindset. Like, I want that 30-second when you sitting there and they called your name. Tell us what your head was saying on the inside when you heard your name.
Man, I was in shock. Like, I truly didn't know that I had been there that long. And like, sometimes, you get up every day and you just put one foot in front of the other and you just try to do your best. Yeah. And then you mess around. Don't let you mess around, start having fun. Then don't mess around and, find a wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I enjoyed the space. I went in there and I look forward to something every day. Right. So I got lost. And so in that moment, I was just like, bro, like, this wasn't the plan. Like, I had a plan and I had strayed from the plan because I had got comfortable. Yeah. So that's immediately what went through my head. Like, this wasn't the plan. Like, I didn't come in here to put a 40-year banner in the rafter. Like, I watch people get 40-year, you know what I'm saying, banners, in the Raptors. Man, you've been here for 40 years. Congratulations. Here's the cake and a watch. Like, I ain't come for that. And so it scared me to death.
Wow. Deal with that. Wait, deal with that. It scared you, right? And I don't want the people to miss this, because what you're saying is heavy. And if I let you go too fast, Shaq, it gonna go over their head. So the fact that you had been there for 2 years, you had invested 2 years of your life that you can't get back, it scared you to death, right? Because of the people who have been in positions that you were in, and they got the 40-year mark or the 25 or the 30-year mark, and you knew that wasn't where you wanted to be 20, 30, 40 years down the line. So that fear activated something, and activated something that we would call execution. So that fear activated the execution in you that mobilized something inside of you to say, I got to do something different because I want to be somewhere different in the next 2 years. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would even go as far as to say, fear activated my access to my gift.
I love it.
Right? Like, everybody else had access, but the fear is what made me be able to access it. Like, I was willing to give it to everybody else without thinking about it. I was willing to wake up and just give you everything I had without even thinking about what I was truly doing. I just want to be great.
Yeah.
But that fear allowed me to activate my access to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I watch people, you know what I'm saying, get those 40-year awards and get a cake and a watch and congratulations and a pat on the back. And I also listen to those same guys complain about their life every single day. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I listen
absolutely.
to those guys complain about their life every single day, and they have to wear a smile and act like they're excited to get this award when they complain about their pay. They complain about their benefits. They complain about, you know what I'm saying, them not being able to send their kid to college. Like, bro, that's not a life that I wanted. And I knew that was my life. That's the only life they could offer me. No matter what they said and no matter how many awards, no matter how many plaques they gave me, that's the only life they could offer me. And so my fear allowed me to access something else. I was like, bro, that ain't what I wanted. That was actually like that was a month before I turned 30.
Wow.
I turned 30 on March the 2nd. I quit like I think February the 6th or something like that. But let me walk you through that process because you said was it difficult.
Right.
It was super difficult. I quit February 6th, 2018. My wife's grandmother passed away a week later. Right. And then 3 weeks later, my grandmother passed away on my birthday. Right. Wow. And so like it was like heavy. Right. I had just made this crazy life-changing decision. And then my 5-year-old daughter, she's 5 now. She was born on April the 2nd. So like we lost my wife's grandmother. We lost my grandmother on my birthday. Then a month later, we had my daughter, and my sons came to live with us from my ex. And, there was a lot going on there. And it was just, it was hit after hit. But it was like, bro, how bad do you want this? Like you said you wanted this, and you said you wanted the responsibility. You said you wanted it all on your shoulders. It's all on your shoulders now. What you gonna do with it?
Oh my goodness, man! Listen,
you can go back to work because they'll take you back. But what you gonna do with it? They didn't want you to leave, so you can go back to your supervisor and say, "Hey, bro, I made a mistake." But what you gonna do with it?
Yeah,
like the options was there. I had to make that decision. Don't hope, decide. Like I had to make a decision. I had to decide. Do I go back to something that makes me comfortable, that I know for sure I don't see a life in? Or do I make the decision to keep pushing and go through it? And it was tough, bro. It was hard. It was some of the hardest times of me and my wife's life.
Yeah.
But I mean, we here now.
Here now.
I didn't quit. So I mean, I just say, bro, it's hard to tell like when it's time because you never know what's going to be around the corner because life's going to keep coming. Like it's like when you're at the beach and you trying to get back to shore. Like the waves keep coming and they just keep coming. You can't control it. The sea's alive.
Yeah. It's alive.
It's alive, bro. Like, like what you gonna do? You got to get up and keep going, bro. You got to decide that what I'm saying. This is really for you. And most entrepreneurs are gonna run into that wall.
Yeah.
Several times. But you got to decide, bro. Like, are you truly an entrepreneur? Or do it just sound nice? It sounds sweet.
Because I think that's what it is, Corn. A lot of people, they just get infatuated with the idea of saying I'm an entrepreneur, of saying I'm a business owner, but they not really in love with that whole concept of going through that difficult process when you don't have insurance and you don't have that guaranteed income coming in. Like, let me not get ahead of myself because it ain't my turn. I'm excited because I'm curious to hear what's going on inside the mind of Brad right quick. So B-Rad the Great, I want you to chime in on what we've been discussing with Cornelius and myself. Can't have this just being a two-way conversation. We're going to make this a three-way, so we won't go and get some input from you before I ask you that same question.
Nah, it's all good, bro. Like when I think about making the shift over to full-time entrepreneurship, it's not something that you can just jump into. You need to actually know what you're doing. You need to know that this is the direction that you're going in. You don't want to just jump into it, on a whim. Like, oh, it's Wednesday, I guess I'll be a full-time entrepreneur. You don't want to do it like that. You want to know or at least have some stuff prepared, in a sense, like have something going for yourself so that you have something to stand on. Because that's the problem with so many people. Like, oh, I'm just gonna go full tilt into something, but you haven't built anything. nobody knows you for anything. Like nobody knows you as a specialist in any particular area. So what are you marketing?
Mm.
What are you going to be an entrepreneur in? Like what is the field? What is your niche? What is your market? Like those are all the things that you should be asking yourself, things you should be testing out. So if you do have a job, continue to work your job, and then just test out those things on the side. So I would, over to the totality of my career as a speaker and having my business, it's been over 10 years. But I've been a full-time entrepreneur for about four years, right? And I had to prepare, like the years prior to me going full time was preparing me for when I did go full time into the field as a full time speaker, and I still wasn't fully prepared.
Mm.
I still wasn't fully prepared. Like
So wait, you saying you was going through the preparation and you found out in preparation that you wasn't prepared. Oh my goodness.
no, like when it was game time and they put the rock in my hand, I was just like, "Hey, so I'm supposed to dribble?" Oh, that's what. Oh, okay. Okay. Shot clock violation. You don't know what you're doing out here, bro.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, cause when I went full time, I got forced into full time entrepreneurship. It wasn't something where I was just like, "Yep, this is the plan. I got this amount saved. This is what I'm going to do on this day, this time. I'm walking out." Bro, that was not what happened. That was not what happened at all. I was
Sound
working
good.
the job. Yeah, I was just working the job, and I was fine with working the job. I had made a promise to myself and to God that, because I was one of those people who just jump from job to job, and I just like, all right, next job I get, I'm gonna sit still and I'm gonna just work this job and I'm gonna stay there no matter what. So some people know, some people don't know, but the last full-time job or 9 to 5 job that I held was me working at a group home, dealing with mentally, disabled adult males. So I worked there and it was crazy. A bunch of, crazy stuff went on when I was there. But for whatever reason, I do well in chaos. It didn't bother me. For other people, it's like, oh, it's too much. I can't take it. Like they're fighting, they breaking stuff, this, that, and other. All this crazy stuff was going on. For me, I was like, I thrive in chaos. I'm perfectly fine in it. It's like I vacation there. So it didn't bother me at all. So I was cool with it. And I believe that God realized how comfortable I had gotten. So just like what Corn said about getting comfortable, I believe he realized I got comfortable in that space. And it was just like, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to stay right here. I'm just continue to do this. And then COVID came up, that whole situation happened. And all of the clients end up getting COVID in the household. And I was eventually going to end up getting it if they, if I continued to work there. So I was like, I can't do that. Like I'm putting myself at risk, putting my family at risk. I can't do that. So I ended up quitting and I just left the job. And I went full time with it. And that first 3 months that I was full time, I was all over the place because I was super confused. Like I knew that I could book myself, I knew I could get speaking engagements and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, it was that getting control over my schedule and my time. Like that was the thing that was like really kind of throwing me off because for whatever reason, I just kind of felt like I was all over the place. And it's one thing when you work a 9 to 5, you work somebody else's schedule and they tell you when to clock in,
Absolutely,
when to take your lunch, when to clock out, when to do this, when to do that. They tell you when to do all these things. But when you work for yourself and you have your own business, you have to create the time for you to do X, Y, and Z, and when you want to eat and when you want to take a break or when you want to actually stop for the day or whatever the case may be, like the SOPs and things like that. You have to create those things. Like no one else is doing that for you. You have to create it in order for it to run smoothly. And I realized as good as I might have thought I was or prepared as I thought I was as a speaker, as an orator, as a presenter, I was not prepared on the back end of my business. Like there were areas where I had glaring, gaping holes in my business as far as the back end. So the email campaigns, I needed to get that together. I needed to get a CRM. I needed to get a VA to help me, get these engagements, a booking manager to help me book these speaking engagements. Like I had to get some structure to what I had going on. I had to start investing even more in myself and in my team and things like that for things to move smoothly. But once we started putting that stuff into place, things started falling into place. And things were like, okay, now this is how it's supposed to run. So after those first 3 months, it was like, okay, now we're doing things the right way. Now we're getting more opportunities. Now things are moving smoothly. But before then, like, you're trying to make that shift. And it's hard because you're stepping into the unknown. You're doing something that you've never done before. So if you think about it, the first time that you had to tie your shoe, you was fumbling all over the place with your shoelaces. You didn't really know what you was doing. But once you did it a couple of times, you were like, okay, now I know what I'm doing. Now I know how to do this properly. So then, you start to kind of walk in it, and you start to do things differently, and you start to hit your stride, and things that were difficult for you before become easier for you. So it's creating that shift and staying. I would say the best thing to do is stay connected to somebody who has done the work before you. So we've got Jeremy, we got ET, we got Inky, we got Coach Crump, we got all our coaches that are part of the Next Level community. Anytime that we get stuck, we have the ability to go talk to somebody, and they can help walk us through it. So it's that initial shock that you get when you step into it. It's like, right. oh man, I'm really doing this. Like,
I'm really out here
in these streets, like by myself. Like, once you get past the initial shock and you start proving to yourself, oh, I can do this. Okay, you make a couple of dollars, you get a check, you book some speaking engagements or whatever it is you have going on. You start feeling it, you start getting on the road, you start building that momentum, and building the momentum builds confidence. And then once the confidence kicks in, you're just as confident to work for yourself as you were working for somebody else, if that makes sense. So I made that transition, and from there, I just haven't looked back.
Listen, Brad, you said a mouthful, man. I wanna deal with that part where first of all, you told us that you were forced into the shift. Like, a lot of us make a choice, right? A lot of us come to a realization, right? Cornelius came to a realization, and then he had to make a choice, right? Because he was scared into discovering his gift, right? In your case, you were forced to dig into your gift. You were forced to rely on your gifts. But one thing you said, it's comfortable when we're on a job and we know exactly what to do. The schedule is already laid out for us. All we have to do is do whatever we're told, right? No brain work there necessary. So technically all they need is a body. You know what I'm saying? Hey, get this from here to there, or do this process to get this done in this particular order, whatever the case it is that you were doing on the clock. But here's this thing called entrepreneurship. When you jump out here, Brad, when you jump out here, Corn, and it ain't nobody telling you what to do, when to do, how long to do it, when you're supposed to stop, where do you put your break at, where do you put your lunch at? Okay, if somebody's working with you, how much do they work? Okay, what do they do, when do they do it, hour for hour, right? You have a lot of pressure on you. Because if you're not aware, Brad, I can imagine maybe in those first 3 months when you said you was all over the place, if I may say so myself, but you probably were up not knowing what to do a lot of times, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you think you know, but you don't until you get into the mix, and you're like, oh shoot, I don't have somebody for that, or I don't have that in place.
Yeah. And you said something else. You were talking about back office things. Now we all just so happen to be in the same space or industry. We are all public speakers, but for those of you who are not in the speaking space, and you don't have to make phone calls to book yourself gigs, or you don't need a virtual assistant or whatever that Brad was describing, like, these are the tools to our trade that we need. But I'm pretty sure there was a standard operating procedure. Now, when he said SOP, you might not have known what he was referring to, but he was talking about the standard operating procedures, the procedure in which your business will function, the procedures in which it operates from day to day, hour to hour, minute by minute. So, Brad, without you having any knowledge of even a back office, right? Because before you can establish your back office, you have to know that you need a back office. And I remember when we were talking on a previous podcast, and we were talking about the triple black. You don't know that you don't know that you don't know. So And entrepreneur is a lot of things that you in triple black about. It's a lot of things that we don't know that we supposed to know. So you didn't know about a back office. So I can imagine you all over the place in these first 3 months. All right, you getting yourself booked, or you getting your product or services out there. People are getting to know about you. Now you got people looking for you, but now you have nothing to contain them. You have nothing to catch the leads that's interested in you. So now there's this back office thing that Brad was talking about, right? How are you gonna get the data or the information to know the research of who's interested and who's not interested and why they're interested? So those of you who are looking to shift into entrepreneurship, we need you to do the work in preparation, right? Because when it was on, Brad said it was on, but that's how he found out that he wasn't prepared. So a good man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from others. So if we gonna live in purpose, since this is the Live in Purpose podcast, y'all like how that happened? I love how that happened just then. If we really gonna live in purpose, we need to know that there's a purpose for the preparation, y'all. Right? It's a purpose for the preparation, right? Like Brad said, like everybody don't get to just say, okay, I got 5, 6, 7 months of rent or mortgage, car note, insurance, medical. Like everybody don't get to say, I got this much set aside. Now let's do it. Some people just getting thrown out here with this climate of things changing. Some people waking up with a job, and by the time they go to bed, that job is gone, right? So what do? How do you prepare? Brad said it. Hold on. Excuse me, y'all. I'm right back like I never left. Brad said it. He said, we have coaches, we got mentors, like we got Jeremy, we got Inky, we got ET, we got Coach Jessica, Coach Crump. Like we got people who we can not just look at, but we got people who we can really reach out to and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. But not only do we have those coaches, like they're on a certain level, but then we have our peers, right? We have the community around us. Don't get caught up so much that you're looking at the people outside of your bubble that you're missing the people within your bubble, because a lot of us are learning from within our community. Like we learn a lot from each other, guys. We lean on each other for a lot, because some of the things that I haven't done, one of you have either done it or about to do it or have done it a little bit while ago. You dig what I'm saying? So you got to get around people that's doing what you want to do. And I like to say on a high level. Now, me, myself, because now I know y'all business. I can't just be on here knowing y'all business and we talking about it and don't nobody know my business, how I ended up where I'm at. So for me, it wasn't a realization moment like Cornelius had. It wasn't a force because of the COVID like Brad had. For me, it was I knew that it was something greater in me. It was a purpose that was calling me, but I ended up, you know how you can stay somewhere where you're supposed to be gone from, but you don't have the courage to leave because you don't know what it's going to look like, because you operating in fear as opposed to operating in faith. I was operating in fear because I've never known a job, guys. Cornelius, like you said, like you were always being noticed. I've never had a job where I wasn't either a top performer, what they call an employee of the month type of situation. I never had a job where I wasn't able to compete consistently within the top ranks of whoever was doing what I'm doing. But there was always something inside of me that was leaving me unfulfilled. Yeah, I'm at the top of the charts. My name is being mentioned. Yeah, I come in the building. People know my face. They know me. I'm good at what I do. So sometimes my days are effortless because the job is easy. The more you do it, the more reps you get in, and then you're good at it. And then all you do is get better at being good at it. But I wasn't fulfilled, y'all. Something was missing. And not only was something missing, but I was meeting frustration every day because I literally, even though I was good at it, Brad, even though I was nice with it, I was decent at what I did, Shaq. I hated what I did because it didn't bring me any fulfillment, any satisfaction. It was just, man, I'm just doing this so I can get a paycheck so that I can pay these bills. And then when I pay these bills, I'm looking crazy because I don't have any money left. And now I'm out here giving all my time. And then when I get the money, I don't get any of the money. So now I'm giving away my time. I'm giving away my money. And I still got bills to pay at the end of the day. Where am I doing? Like, what am I doing? And eventually it got to the point, guys, where I felt like I had gotten so sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I made a decision. I made a decision that would not just affect me because I'm a husband, I'm a father, but I made a decision that would affect everybody who I was called and chosen and put in position to lead. I made a decision to come home and tell my wife, like you had to tell your Mrs. Cornelius, like I'm not going back to this job. And it wasn't a, oh, okay, cool, let's do the 2-week situation. No, it's like I'm not going back to this job. But here's the funny thing, because I'm like, man, I got to pray about it. God, I felt like DMX, Lord, give me a sign. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, God, you got to give me a sign. I'm not just finna just go out here be looking crazy. True story, y'all. I couldn't find a sign to save my life. I wake up every day. Okay, this going to be the day he give me a sign. Like there's never a perfect moment, right? So this is what happened. I come home from work one day. I've been at work all day. I've never not had my name badge around my neck. That's a requirement for the job that I did, right? I come home one day. I pull up in front of my yard. You know how the trash cans are right in front of your yard? True story. I still got this picture. I pulls up to my house right before I bag in the driveway. I noticed something hanging from the handle of the trash can. So I'm like, man, this is a trip, right? So I get out the car, walk up to the trash can, Brad, and I'm like, what's this? I grab it off, and it's my name tag that goes around my neck. So the first thing I'm wondering is, how did the name tag get on the trash can, right? That's still to be determined. But the moral of the story is, in my mind, God done gave me a sign. You feel what I'm saying? In my mind, it's like, wait, my name tag is on the trash can. It's like I've been praying. Cornelius, they don't understand what I'm saying. It's like God done gave me a sign. I done asked for it. This is it. It's on the trash can. I ain't going back no more. So what I did, I made it was over with. It's trash. This job is trash. So what I did, I made an impulsive decision. I made an impulsive decision because I didn't go back and say, God, okay, was that you? I said, yep, that's God. I know it's God. I made an impulsive decision. Now, luckily, I did have a few coins put to the side, but it wasn't enough to do what I was planning on doing because I didn't even know what I was planning on doing. I was like, Brad, now I'm in something that I ain't know what I was doing. All I know was I wanted freedom. Yeah, I wanted you to give us free. You feel me? I wanted control of my time. I wanted control of my day. I was tired of my kids and my wife seeing my back every day as I'm walking out. And when I come back in, everybody sleep, right? And then when I'm up, I'm gone by the time they wake up. And it's the same cycle. So I jumped out here into this entrepreneur grind, not knowing what I was doing. And I fell flat on my face, Cornelius. Like I failed, like with a capital F on your report card, Brad. And I was embarrassed. I was humiliated. I was ashamed because, you know, you tell everybody when you entrepreneur, yeah, I'm out here, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm a motivational speaker and I'm speaking full time. And if it ain't speaking, don't call me just because I know how to do things. I put those tools down. So I'm not called. Don't call me when you need something fixed. Don't call me when you need something installed. Only call me when you need somebody to speak because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm full time speaking. That's all I want to do. But I didn't know that it was levels to it. I didn't know it was levels to it. So I went through some things that I'm trying to help somebody, y'all. I'm trying to help somebody from jumping out here, getting so excited with the idea of being an entrepreneur that you forget that you got real responsibilities. Like, don't get it twisted. It's entrepreneurship. It's not a game. But don't get so excited that you forget that you got a wife, you got kids, you got responsibilities and things because it's stressful out here. Like when I started this, I had a face full of black hairs. Now I got some white gray hairs. You know what I'm saying? But I need to be prepared. The journey is great. The journey is magnificent. The process is phenomenal. However, don't cause yourself stress and pressure that's not for you to carry in this space and time. Because God has called you with these gifts and talents, right, Brad? Right, Cornelius? He give us all gifts, talents. They're different. Some of our gifts are similar, but he's given us all a separate process. And we've had to identify where we are in our process. So what I want you guys to think about as I get ready to pass this microphone to Cornelius, I want you guys to think about where you are in your process. Because where I was in my process, I was frustrated. I was fed up. I was looking for God to give me a sign in any way. So God gave me a sign by that badge on the trash can. To this day, I still say, even though it was tough and I may have quit prematurely, it still was the best decision I've made. Because had I not done that then, I would not be sitting here now. I'm gonna say it again. Even though I felt like I had made the worst decision of my life, when the pressure was on and I was standing in that fire, it still turned out to be the best decision, because had I not done that then, I wouldn't be sitting here now. So Cornelius, through the pressure, right? Through the struggle, because see, now we finna help him, right? Now we finna bless somebody. Now we finna teach them how to live in purpose, because they have a purpose, Brad, if they thinking about entrepreneurship. They have a purpose if they're thinking about taking their God-given gifts and talents, the things that they're passionate about, to solve a problem in the world, Cornelius. So when it's all said and done, let's talk about some of the values. Let's talk about some of the benefits of going through that tough process, because it's going to be tough for everybody in different stages. Cornelius, what does it look like when you make it through those tough stages?
Man, first thing I would say to people is, man, like, first thing you gotta do, bro, is change the way that you think. You gotta change the way that you currently think. Your thought process gotta be different, right? You gotta go out and seek the knowledge that you require, right? And you can't never stop working the process, right? You know, as I got comfortable and as I realized that I was there 2 years and I just like, I'm out. Because I had a plan, but along that process, when I got comfortable and I started, actually having fun, and I was, dominating my space, I stopped working the plan. Right. So don't get too comfortable to where you stop working your plan. Like, always be working your plan and always be getting better. But that thought process, your way of thinking, has to change before you even consider making that transition. Like, the way that you think, most people, they want the answer as long as it fits in their current way of thinking, right? Like, you want the answer, but you want it in the way that you think, right? And it don't work that way, right? You need more than the way that your mind processes information. You need a mentor, right? You need somebody to advise you, right? You need someone that's done it before, that's willing to help. You got to be willing to actually ask the questions and then actually, put it into action. So I want you guys to really work on your thought process, your way of thinking, the information that you're seeking, like, and actually take it in, because most people are longing for the truth, but they want to believe a lie.
Wow.
And when you're going out there and you longing for the truth, but you want to believe a lie, you're gonna waste time. You're gonna lose relationships, right? You're gonna do stuff the wrong way, and it's gonna rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
You're gonna say stuff that people don't like, and you might need those people. So, like, I need you to change your way of thinking, because I know you want the truth. I know you want the answer. I know you're trying to get to the next level, but you can't go out there asking for the right answers and you want to believe a lie. You want to believe it, in the way that your mind has constructed these thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Brad said it, like, he went out there and he shot clock violation. He didn't really know what to do.
Right.
He didn't know nothing about no SOPs. He didn't know nothing about. He didn't know what he was supposed to be doing. He just knew he wanted to do it.
That's it.
But at some point, Brad stopped working his plan. Brad probably had that plan already. He knew what he wanted to do. He just got lost in the sauce of that job, and then he was forced out of the job. But he was forced out, and he hadn't been working his process. So now he's like, dang, I can finally do what I want to do, but bro, I ain't did nothing in months. I don't even know where I'm at in that process. What do I do now? Holding the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now guys say, hey, put the ball in your chest aggressively
Yeah.
and say shoot. Like God ain't worked out in you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Ain't worked out in a year. What do you mean shoot the ball?
Right.
So never stop working your process. You gotta stay, you know what I'm saying? Like when like the month said earlier, when you get off your job, then go to work.
That's it.
Like you gotta always be working and you gotta have that thought process and you gotta be picking people's brain. But like don't like I said, if you ain't in the right thought process, you ain't in the right frame of mind, picking people's brain get aggravated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So you got, but if people see that you work in your process, if people see that you hungry, and people see that you really, about what you're talking about, you can't be like, man, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and they see you going to clock in at a job every day and not and on Facebook talking about the basketball games. They bro, it ain't no way you working on what you say you working on.
Right.
You
You
up
say
there
you
for
do
eight,
what?
9 hours. Yeah, you up there for 8, 9 hours, and then I see you on Facebook arguing with people. It ain't no way, bro. Like that, it don't add up. So can you pick my brain? No, you cannot. Because your thought process, your way of thinking is not, what I'm saying, in a place to where I feel like that you have the potential to be fruitful with the information that I give you.
Yeah, that right there. Stay right there, bro.
Because if you don't intend on doing nothing with information, then don't waste my time. I got a wife and 6 kids. Like I got plenty of things that I could be doing. So like I need to know that you're gonna be fruitful with the information that I give you and that you truly want what you say you want. Like you can't be longing for the truth and want to believe a lie because I don't got time for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to help you, I do, but you got to be in the right frame of mind. So if you're not working on your thought process, you're not working on like the way that you see yourself, the way working on your person, the background, like bro, that mental health stuff is real. If you're not working on yourself, bro, you can't do nothing. So before you even start thinking about like being a full-time entrepreneur, bro, you got to be self-development every day.
Every day.
You got to be self-development every day, and you got to be going out seeking the information that you're looking for, like actively seeking. Like you can find anything on the internet. You got Chat GPT. You can just say whatever you want to say, and it'll spit it out. You no longer have to pick people's brain. You know what I'm saying? So if you in your bag and you actually working on it and you working your process,
Mm-hmm.
you know that. You know that you can go to YouTube and find whatever you want to in life.
That's right.
You know that you can just go to Chat GPT and just spit out something. If you man your email marketing trash, you know for sure you can just go in there and say, hey, this is who I'm trying to email it. I'm targeting this specific group. This is what I'm trying to talk about, and it'll spit out an email. And if you want 5 different variations of it, you say make me another variation, and it'll make another one. Then you say make another one, make another one. Like, bro, it's legit. If you actually in that thought process and you in that frame of mind that you're trying to win and you willing to, bro,
It's a way
you
out.
can win it.
Yeah.
You can win it right now. But you got to be mentally ready for it because it's going to hit you in your mouth. It's going to say, do you really want this? You said you want it on your shoulders. It's on your shoulders. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to fold or are you going to carry it? Are you going back or are you going forward? But you got to be ready mentally. Like it ain't about but it's about very little else.
Hey man, I almost threw something at you, but I forgot we on virtually, so it's gonna hit mess up my computer screen. But I almost threw something at you. Be quiet, man. Brad, get off in here, man, because Corn gonna make me throw something at him, man. He about to jumpstart a whole new conversation. Come on off in here, Brad. Give us something.
All right. So I guess I'll go in a different direction from Corn because I
Now,
don't feel
don't you
like
start nothing.
I'm not. I'm good. I can listen. I'm on my best behavior. I'm not finna start nothing. I promise. All right. So with this whole situation with making the shift over, when you start getting it and it starts going well and you start getting the confidence like I talked about before and the momentum, what happens is you start feeling like you broke the matrix code. that we were talking about the Matrix earlier. It's just funny that we were talking about that earlier. You start feeling like you broke the Matrix code. So any of you, if you ever seen the movie The Matrix, and if you haven't, go back and just watch the first one. Forget the other ones, and definitely not the last one. Just watch the first
definitely
one.
not the last one.
Yeah, definitely not the last one. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. But with the first one, the main character, his name is Neo, and with that whole situation, he's just living life, just going through life, this, that, and the other. It's like, okay, that's your 9 to 5. Like that is the Matrix, right?
Right.
But when you break the Matrix code and you step out of it, right? And you start going into what the real world is, and you realize that there are all the possibilities that life has for you, all the possibilities as far as the different streams of income and in different ways that you can use your gifts for, that you can be able to provide for yourself and your family and your community. It becomes limitless.
Yeah.
You tap into a realm that becomes limitless when you start using your gift, right? And you start connecting with other individuals, and you start realizing, I don't have to do it all myself, and I don't have to have all the answers, right? All I have to do is actually work in my space, use my gift, and connect with other individuals who are doing the same thing, who are working in their space. They're using their gift, they're moving in their purpose, and it all comes together like Voltron, right? And that's how we really start doing our thing. But one of the other things that I want y'all to pay close attention to, so if you ever watch the movie The Matrix, you realize that when Neo came in and he was training and he was doing this thing, trying to get better, like he was getting beat up.
Yeah.
Like he was losing. He wasn't getting it right. Like he was like, because he was like, it was the shock of just getting into the situation. He's like, yo, this is the real world. This is what I always believed that it was, but I didn't think I was gonna feel like this.
Come on,
I didn't know the learning curve was gonna take this long. I thought because I was gifted, I thought because I'm the one, that I was gonna be able to just take off and I was automatically gonna be able to fly. Bro, you can't fly. If you Neo, you can't fly to the end of the movie. You gotta
They're gonna have to
go
watch
through your
that.
through.
They're gonna have to watch it. They're gonna have to watch it because that's heavy, B.
It's been out too long. If you didn't watch it by now, it is what it is. Listen, you gotta wait all the way to the end. You gotta train. You gotta get your reps in for you to get to the point where you able to fly. You ain't dodging bullets in the first scene.
Come on.
So here's another part of it. It's not for everybody, because just like Neo was the one, unfortunately, for some of you out here, you say you want to be an entrepreneur, but unfortunately, you ain't the one. You ain't the one. Like you Trinity, you APOC, you one of them other cats. Like you not the one. You out here trying to fly and dodge bullets, and you like, I know kung fu. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't know none of it. Like you out here getting beat up, and you're gonna end up with a situation where somebody gonna come to you just like in the movie, and gonna be like, listen, I can put you back in the Matrix. I gave you a chance. I gave you a chance to see if you were the one. You just proved to us that you ain't. So here, I'm gonna give you a chance. You can go back into the Matrix.
Come on, man.
You can get a 9 to 5 again. You can work your job again. You can go back, and that's cool. If you believe that you ain't the one, you'll take it. Go ahead. But if you believe you the one, bruh, that's not an option. I am the one. So I'm not going back into the Matrix. I'm going to deal with the real life, the real world, and all the adversity and obstacles that come along with it. Why? Because if I'm the one, I know I can beat it. I know I can find a way through it. So before this movie is over, before this whole thing is over, before the whole thing is done, bro, they're going to have a trilogy about me. I'm not even counting the last movie. I'm just going to say trilogy.
Listen, y'all. Listen. If you don't know nothing else, if you don't take anything else away from here, it's know where you are and know who you are. Right? Know if you the one, first of all. And if you're not the one right now, like Neo was the one and he wasn't the one, right? Did you just hear what Brad said? Like Neo was the one, but in the first few scenes when he was trying to become the one, like even though he was him, he was having to go through the process, and it didn't look good. It looked ugly. It looked like he wasn't even the one. You feel what I'm saying? So some of y'all, it look like you're not gonna ever be who God called you to be. And you like, God, I picked up the phone when you called me. I answered the call, and I took the leap of faith. God, I took the ultimate leap of faith, and I left my job. God, I walked away from friends and family. And God, this don't look like my purpose. God, I'm not living in purpose, but God wants you to know that he got you in his hands. He wants you to know that he has you right where you are supposed to be. If you heard anything and anything that was said here, it hit you in your chest and gave you either a reality check, or it comforted you, or it educated you, then you know you was in the right place. Now listen, before we get up out of here, I want you to know that you've been tuned in to the Live in Purpose podcast. And we want to thank you for hitting the like button. We want to thank you for hitting the subscribe button. We want to thank you for sending this out to 5, 10, 20 of your friends who you want to see live in purpose. And listen, before we get up out of here, I got to let you know, right? I got to let you know we are the Fantastic Force, right? We got Cornelius Shackelford, a.k.a. Cornelius, the CEO. The next CEO blueprint is what he gives. We also got Brad Butler II, a.k.a. B-Rad the Great. You already know hope is what he stands for. You dig? Listen, and we also got to give a shout out to our brother Logan Taylor, a.k.a. YB Normal, because he out there being extraordinary. And in case you ain't know or you haven't been listening, it's your big bruh, DeMont Pope, a.k.a. Mr. Purpose over pointless excuses. Yeah, telling you, this is how you live in purpose. We'll see y'all back next week, same time, same channel. Yeah.